when I look at my career and my experiences, we were over-conditioned. I don't know if over-conditioned is a bad thing, but we actually were complacent in a lot of ways because we got away with a lot, but also because we were so conditioned for it. The protocols that we teach is, number one, breathe. And it sounds, I mean, I've heard guys on your podcast, I pay attention to guys like Huberman who put this stuff out. Breathing not only off-gases CO2, it also brings you back to your body. It gets you out of your head and brings back awareness in your body. If me and you were free-falling, have you ever free-falled?
No.
Dude, you got to do that shit.
No, I don't.
I know. Andy Stump is he wants to tether you to his body.
Shit.
For charity.
Fuck off, Andy.
For charity.
Yeah,
We're gonna do it
I'd
for
rather
charity.
donate money. I'll cut you a check. Fuck off, Andy.
Oh, man. If me and you were falling, and this is an example of something we did, but we didn't realize what we were doing. If me and you were falling in free fall, and I was the new guy, and you were the senior guy, you would be flying around me like a fucking hummingbird, like zipping around me effortlessly. I would be overwhelmed by stress, freaking the fuck out in my head. I would be very narrow in my focus, not seeing my altimeter, seeing the earth coming closer to me, and scared shitless. If I did look at my altimeter, I would glance at it and it would be hyper-focused. And then you would look at me, and to calm me down, you would do this, right? That's the hand and arm signal to arch. So I would do this.
So what are you doing for people just listening? You're just shaking your hand.
Shaking your hand, right?
Like it's wet.
It's wet. So this is the hand and arm signal for arch. This is the hand and arm signal to relax. So if you said this, like this, when I did this, I'm literally moving my hands, which is bringing awareness back into my body because I'm not thinking about impending doom in my head. And all of a sudden my body relaxes and I'm like, oh, fuck. And I'm like, oh, I could see my altimeter. Oh, things aren't so bad. We get in our heads a lot, and breathing not only helps optimize oxygen in our body under stress, but it also is the awareness that if I'm breathing, I'm also thinking about breathing, which means I'm not thinking about impending doom, that I'm going to fucking die. The second thing, we could wrap that part up with just affirmation. Most people, we're our own worst enemies, right? We beat ourselves up routinely. I heard you say you don't have to, nobody needs to criticize you because you do it enough to yourself. I'm the same way. I don't need critics because I'm my own worst critic. That could be a detriment. But also, if you look at confirmation bias, the unique thing about confirmation bias is it's like this cell phone. If I pick up this cell phone and I could record in 4K, which is typical of most phones, that's kind of how our brain and our senses work. If I pick this phone up and I push record and record it in 4K, it would stop recording when I've met all the bandwidth. I filled up the memory. And it would crash. And then I would have to partition it. I'd have to shut it down, and it's fucking reset. So if we are thinking about that in psychological terms, in confirmation bias, we create the narrative. Then I go out into the world focused. I can't keep it running in 4K, so I can only partition my focus. I'm looking at you, you're looking at me, we're focused, and then we shut it down. We watch YouTube and stare into oblivion for fucking an hour. We get back to whatever, and we're focused. You could only partition your focus. The problem with us is if we are looking for confirmation of the narrative in our heads, we'll go out into the world and we will look for evidence that we are who we say we are. So if you wake up and you're like, I'm a fat piece of shit, then you'll walk into the world looking for evidence of that and go, that dude looked at my stomach. I fucking knew it. He looked in disgust. I'm a fat piece of shit. Because that's how we collect the evidence. We do the same thing every day. So if you want to become more resilient and more focused as a person, you need to wake up and say, I'm the fucking best. I mean, I know Andy Stumps, Jack Carr, and all the Navy SEALs that I know, they live this because they think they're the best. Navy SEALs think they're the fucking best. That's how you become more resilient, because if you affirm every day, even if you're not, and you say you're good enough or you're the best, you're going to do well. It's like the Jocko shit, it's Goggin shit. It's that easy. You just say, I'm the fucking best. I'm a badass. I'm going to do it. And if you go out in the world looking for that belief, you'll find it and you'll get better.